Hi all, welcome. This is Manuel, and yeah, best regards to the first exercise or first task here on the professional Python course. So in this case, I will just tell you what I did for the first exercise. Maybe it would be best to just open quickly the GitHub page, right? That would be a good idea. And just to see what is done here. So this is the professional Python exercise 1, weather API. And actually, I really don't like that the name was misspelled here, so I have to correct that quickly. Is there even a way to do that here? I don't know why it is starting with a minus, but it should be, yeah, here. All right, let's just rename it. All right, so it looks a little bit better. Ooh. All right, so professional Python exercise 1, weather API. So what was the goal of this exercise? Start with a simple script, communicate with an external system, output things to the console. Fetch weather data, that's the use case. And we have 3 different scenarios: weather history data for 3 days, weather forecast for the next 3 days, or as an extra, display the temperature on a map, past or future. So actually I just did the forecast, and I will tell you why in a bit. But yeah, I was just searching for a API that I could use, and the first obvious API which just jumps you right into the face is Open Weather API. And sounds nice, right? Looks nice. Then you go to API, and then you realize you have to pay for all that. Good friend here is to just search for free. So you can see what's included in the free version. So for example, current weather data, well, that's not what we want. 5-day, 3-hour forecast, that's what we want. Because history API, you see that? It's only included in a subscription plan, so you have to pay money for that. And I didn't want to do this, so I just stayed with the 5-day forecast, because 3 days, yeah, it's enough to have 5 days for covering 3 days. And those 3 hours, yeah, it's not quite that. But yeah, I don't have to mock the API here. But the thing is that you would suggest that if it's standing here, right, as you see it, 3-hour forecast, that means that you get data every 3 hour, right? Wrong. No, you get data every 3 hours during the day, but then from the night, I think around 20 or 8 o'clock in the evening until 5 in the morning, you don't get any data points. So there's a bit of a, yeah, hustle. But yeah, never mind. So the video is not about me criticizing an API, which is for sure good, and also even better if you pay money for it. But just to show you the code, right? So this is what I will be doing. All right, so what I did is I just created that simple repository, and you saw the README file here. I created a standard MIT license, don't really thought too much about it. And then I had a git ignore, which I said that will be just a Python git ignore. So you can see it's the standard Python stuff. And then we have data, that's what I will be getting. And well, just one class or one file, one file, one class, or actually 2 classes, 2 classes. All right, so I will just walk you through the code and will explain what my thoughts are on this case. So let's always start at the main method of a file. So this is what is really happening. So as soon as this file is getting executed, this will be run. So with open, and then we have a file which contains our API, which is a key for getting request responses from the API. So you need this to just identify yourself, and also for the API to be able to limit your number of requests. For example, as you can see that here, you have some amount of calls per day for free, and after that you have to pay amount of euros per call. So, and that you can be identified, you get this key, API key, which you will be using with every instance or every request. So you have this API doc for the 5-day 3 hours forecast, and you can see here how to call it, right? So there's this string, this URL, which you will call, and it has this parameter API key, and this API key you will request. And yeah, the thing was actually a whole different story, but you don't want to have API keys floating around in the internet, because that's something like a password, sort of. So you want to keep that as a secret. Now, if I push that just to Git, it's not secret anymore, is it? We will be learning about Git secrets in a future lesson, but for now I just decided to go a little bit easy about it. I just put it into, and I have to turn it on fuzzy for now. I will deactivate the key, but yeah, just imagine here there's a file and it has a key in it, and this key will be then read here with this command. So API key is f.read, and f being the file, which is open in reading mode. Yeah, and then I start creating the first class, which is weather forecast fetcher. So an instance is created, and it takes as an argument the API key. And then the method will be run fetch weather data. So let's look at weather forecast fetcher, what this is doing. So you have a little doc string. You see what the parameters are. So you see, init will take the API key, and that's about it. And the location coordinates, which is latitude and longitude coordinates for the location of interest where you want to get your weather forecast for. This is just a empty tuple right now, or not an empty tuple, but it's a tuple filled with zeros. So 0, 0 is a location, but I don't know really which one. But never mind. So it's initialized as a default, and you have those values, and then you have self.location coords is location coords fetcher.location coords, and actually this is only available because we just instantiated another class which is called location coords fetcher. It was just a little bit later that I realized there is a location fetcher also here somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, history API for timestamp. Coordinate geocoding API. So I could have used this as well, but I didn't. I searched for a Python only way of doing this, and this is what the second class is created here. So location coords fetcher. This will initialize with just the method it contains, which is fetch location coords, and this will return a tuple being the coordinates, and it will ask the user for a input. It will ask the user, please, where do you live? Please enter a city. And this was just for testing purposes, that I didn't have to call it all the time. And then you have a CLI sort of thing. You get asked what you want, and then you can input something, and let's maybe input foobar or something crazy. Then your location will not be found with the geolocator, which is just an import, which I used. So this also brings the question, dependency handling. Didn't take care of that, but maybe that's a thing to also discuss. But yeah, you have to have geolocator installed. Unless you haven't this installed, this will just return a failure. So, and then let's say you have entered some bullshit, right? And then there is just this recursive element into it, because it will have a location which is none, and then it will print, sorry, I didn't understand you. Please try again, and then you return the same method once again. So, and let's say it is not none, then the location coordinates can be fetched from the location, which is fetched from the geolocator.geocode, and then you return that, and that means you have correct locations depending on your city right here. So city is there, location is there, API key is there, and that's all for the instantiation of the weather forecast fetcher class. Then the method where the magic happens, it's fetch weather data. It's just having a reload option which can be set to true or false. Because what I wanted to do is I want to fetch the data once and then maybe also do stuff about it. Because it was just debugging reasons. Let's walk through here. So you have a request that contains of your URL and there the location coordinates are and latitude and longitude coordinations. I set the units to be metric as a default. Maybe you want to set that as imperial, but yeah. I want to set that as metric because I cannot calculate in Fahrenheit. Right, and then you have the API key which is also set in here. So having said that, you have a request perfectly set, and then you just define a output directory, you could say, or output file path. Then if you don't want to reload, or if you want to reload, or the file does not exist yet, you just fetch the URL, and then you get the data, right? This is where you get the JSON back, and then you just write this JSON to a file. And if you don't want to reload and the file is existing, then you just read the data. And then either way, you have the data filled with values, and so you can iterate through there and just see, okay, it's something like here. You can see you have this item called list, or with a key list, or it's a list, and this list contains a dictionary, and with the dictionary you have DT values, and the DT values are UTC timestamps. So you can get the values being data list. So you get the list, and then you get values. Yeah, values is the list, and then you get depending on the timestamp, you get the timestamp in UTC. You transfer that to a real timestamp. You get the temperature min max, and you're just iterating through the list. Why is there a list anyway? Yeah, you see here DT equals 25. I specified that you get 25 inputs or 25 timestamps. So this is why you get a multitude of those timestamps, and you can just see that. If I just get back to the data, so those timestamps here, the first one, and here the second one, those timestamps are usually 3 hours apart. And so you can just go walk through them and just fetch whatever you like. The temperature, min, max. This is what I chose to go for because I just wanted to have the min and max temperature, but you could also easily go for pressure and whatever. So the info is there. All right, going through there, I will just log that onto the console, and that's about it. So let's just test that. For once, in this case, it will not reload. So let's delete all this again. Now it will reload for sure. And if I now just press F5 to execute it, this should now fetch the data. Where do I live? All right, let's just enter some bullshit, right? Sorry, didn't understand you. Please, we'll try again. Let's go for Washington. Right, and here's the temperature in Washington. What I noticed is that as soon as you're leaving the current day, I think, you're getting equal temperature for min and max for the same day, which seems odd. But, well, that's an API problem, and I will be sure that we will discuss about the difficulties about error handling when you're dealing with an external API together with Kodi. But yeah, for now, that's about it. If you have any questions, suggestions, whatever to this video, just drop a comment, drop your question, drop your suggestion, drop whatever you like. And hopefully we see each other on the Discord. Bye now.